Morning, everyone, and Merry Christmas to all of you. And I'm sure many of you must be either on leave right now or must be planning to go on leave. So, season's greeting to all of you. So, as discussed in my last video, I ensured all of you that if you ask any question to me, I'll definitely try to answer with the best of my capabilities. So I received two very interesting questions in last week. I received few more, but if I handle all those questions, I will not be able to do justice while giving answers. If I pick many questions and if I do justice with all of them, the video will be too long. So what I will do, I will make more videos to cover all the questions. So in this particular episode, I am picking two questions to be answered, which I thought are very interesting. So the first question has been asked by somebody who has requested me not to take his name. First, second, he asked me to answer in English, and he comes from a pharmaceutical background industry. He is working as a salesperson somewhere in South India, and the question that he asked me, that his supervisor or manager is very autocratic in nature. So, how to handle a manager who is very autocratic in nature? I think many of us through our career, um, some or other way have come across these kind of supervisors who are very autocratic in nature. So, my before I answer this question in detail, let me clarify that before you start managing your autocratic boss, you need to first very honestly find out if your supervisor is autocratic only with you or it is a general nature with the rest of the team members as well. If he is only autocratic with you but not with others in the team, then you need to really look back. There could be a reason that the fault is really with you and not with your supervisor. But I'm taking with a pinch of salt and trust your question that if you are saying that he's an autocratic boss, then he's autocratic with most of the people in the team or almost all the people in the team. So we need to identify who is actually an autocratic supervisor. So usually autocratic supervisors are such who do not trust their employee or subordinates and have a tendency to take decisions on their behalf, and they expect rest of the team to just follow the command. He doesn't usually involve people into decision making. Now such supervisors can actually create a very destructive atmosphere on the self morale of their subordinate, and this actually impacts the overall outcome of the organization. Such supervisors also have a tendency to usually dominate the people who are around them. Another very specific thing that you can find out in these supervisors, that they are usually very straightforward and direct. They are very non-emotional. They don't get emotionally connected with their subordinates. They don't get into any kind of discussion which relates to any personal issues or on the personal front. They are usually detached with their colleagues. One thing that you can really identify in them is that they hardly tolerate any non-performance, and they are into a habit of hiring and firing very quickly because they are very goal driven, and anything or any person which stops them between him and his goal are usually cleared away. So these are the some symptoms that you can find in an autocratic supervisor. Just because he asks you to do something and he is following up very vigorously doesn't make him an autocratic supervisor. I really request you to have a very thorough evaluation of your supervisor before you actually term him as an autocratic supervisor. If you feel that he is really an autocratic supervisor, always remember one thing, that never take anything personally whatever he tells you or asks you to do. Don't even try to change him or his belief. It is not possible. It's an inherent nature. Somebody who is autocratic will remain autocratic. Just because you retaliate or just because you want him to be a democratic supervisor, he will not become a democratic supervisor. He will remain an autocratic supervisor. There is a saying that you can't teach an old dog new tricks. So the more this supervisor matures, the more stronger beliefs he develops into his way of doing things. So how to manage the supervisor? So there are certain tricks that you can follow. Rather than changing him, change your approach towards your supervisor. My first suggestion would be don't try to change him. My second suggestion would be do your job diligently. Meet your deadlines, don't miss them. Do whatever you are asked to do in time. That's very, very important. Because such supervisors usually do not mind if you change your way of doing things as far as you are able to get the things done. He will only consider the outcome, not the process. Try to deliver whatever results you are expected to deliver in time frame and as diligently as possible. One very, very important tip I have for you is that don't try to be defensive. Usually autocratic supervisors are always on lookout for a weaker subordinate to release their frustration. If you come out as a defensive person, you will always be an easy target. So during the meetings or during the discussions, he will always pounce on you and try to dominate you in order to use you as a medium to teach a lesson to others. So just be careful that you do not come out as a very, very defensive person. Last and the most important tip I have for you to manage your autocratic boss is build credibility. One thing which you need to understand, that if you come out as a rebellion and you are the only rebellion within the team, rest others are not having any problem with him, be rest assured that you will be thrown out of the company, because your organization will not remove the supervisor if you are the only rebellion. So my suggestion would be to be diligent on your work, to deliver on consistent basis and build credibility in front of your supervisor. Being seen as a credible subordinate is the key to success if you have an autocratic supervisor. So whatever task is given to you, continuously achieve those tasks, continuously and consistently deliver the result, and you will be absolutely fine with your autocratic boss. And before I end this particular topic, one small tip: do not bitch around about your supervisor. Whatever views you have about your supervisor, keep it to yourself. Whatever you are going to discuss or bitch around will come back to him somewhere or other in a much more spicier way, and you will be in deep trouble. So do not talk about your supervisor with any other person in a bad sense. So that's the very, very important last tip for you. So I think these answers and tips will help you to manage your supervisor. There is another very interesting question on my LinkedIn from Kumar Gadvi. So Kumar Gadvi was in my previous organization where I was also working. Very good professional, and so he has a question to me that, if somebody is absolutely visible in the organization, earning incentives, blue-eyed boys of the management, and absolutely there is a possible growth within the organization, is it the right time to get into entrepreneurship or think about doing something on his or her own? And second part of the question that he asked is that what are the most important factors that one has to keep in mind when somebody starts thinking about getting into that entrepreneurship journey? So Kumar, first of all, thank you very much for asking this question. So I will answer your first part of the question first. Switch from one career to another should be based on a lot of thought process. It should not be based on your current circumstances, which are actually forcing you to pick one career over another. If you feel that entrepreneurship is something that gives you happiness and that gives you a confidence that this is exactly where you would like to grow in your life, then it doesn't matter how you are doing in your current organization. Many people which I know, they only start thinking about getting into business when they are forced to move out of their current role, or when they feel that current career is not lucrative enough to continue. So if you feel that you are doing very well in your current career, that means you are very, very lucky. So you can have a very conscious call whether you want to continue in your current role and grow a career in the same organization, or you want to follow the passion of being an entrepreneur. Any decision that you take when you are desperate and the situation is very tense, it's quite possible that the decision that you are going to take will be a wrong decision. So you are in a very, very lucky position, very, very good position, because you are doing wonderfully well in your career, but you want to follow your passion. I would suggest that you should follow your passion. If you want to start the journey of being an entrepreneur, I would highly recommend that you start that journey quickly and as early as possible. The second part of the question was that what important factors that you should be keeping in mind when you start the journey. Number one, don't copy others. Just because your friend or your relatives are successful, it doesn't give you a guarantee that you also be a successful businessman. Number two, when you look at success stories of big giants coming out of nowhere when they started, like a garage, uh, um, these are fancy fairy tales. Behind one such successful stories, there are millions of failures. So my suggestion would be that do not copy others. Do a proper risk assessment. Look at your funding. Look at your partners, and select the right direction, a right field for yourself, and follow your passion. That's the only suggestion I have for you. So if you feel that I have answered your questions and if the answers were helpful to you, just give me a feedback. And if you feel that you still need to connect with me, you have option to connect back with me as well. So guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you feel this video was helpful, then just give a like to this, and do subscribe the channel so that this channel is able to grow. And if you feel that somebody who can be benefited with this video, kindly share this video with that particular person. Take care, enjoy your vacation time, and let's meet again on next Sunday.